Right.
Okay, we're good?
I'll just present you. Al Music Corner è con noi Jackson Browne.
I don't know what to say about these days. I'm seeing people changing in the strangest ways. Even in the richer neighborhoods, people don't know when they got it good. They got the envy and they got it bad. When I was a kid, everything I did was trying to be free. Running up and down Tinseltown with the fire inside of me. My planet's all in retrograde. The best of all my plans got laid. I made my breaks and some mistakes, just not the ones people think I made. Now I'm a long way gone down this wild road I'm on. It's gonna take me where I'm bound, but it's the long way around. It's a little hard keeping track of what's gone wrong. The covenant unravels and the news just rolls along. I can feel my memory letting go some 2 or 3 disasters ago. It's hard to say which did more ill, Citizens United or the Gulf War spill. And I'm a long way gone down this wild road I'm on. It's gonna take me where I'm bound, but it's the long way around. It's never been that hard to buy a gun, and now they'll sell a Glock 19 to just about anyone. The seeds of tragedy are there, and what we feel we have the right to bear, to watch our children come to harm. They're in the safety of our arms, with all we disagree about. The passions burn, the heart goes out. We're a long way gone down this wild road we're on. It's gonna take us where we're bound. It's just a long way around.
Thank you.
Though the earth may tremble and our foundations crack, we will all assemble we will build them back and rush to save the lives remaining still within our reach. Try to put our world together, standing in the breach. So many live in poverty, while others live as kings. Though some may find peace in the acceptance of all that living brings, I will never understand, however they've prepared, how one life may be struck down and another life be spared. And though the earth may tremble, cast our works aside, and though our efforts resemble a fluctuating tide, we rise and fall with the trust and belief that love redeems our siege, and bend our backs and hearts together, standing in the breeze. You don't know why it's such a far cry from the world this world could be. You don't know why, but you're still trying for the world you wish to see. You don't know how it'll happen now after all that's come undone, but you know the change the world needs now is there in everyone. The unpaid debts of history, the open wounds of time, the laws of human nature always tugging from behind. I want to think that the earth can heal, that people might still learn how to meet this world's true challenges, and that the course we're on could turn. And though the earth may tremble, oceans pitch and rise, we will all assemble, and we will lift our eyes to the tasks that we know lie before us, and the power our prayers beseech, and cast our souls into the heavens, standing in the breach. You don't know why it's such a far cry from the world this world could be. You don't know why, but you're still trying for the world you wish to see. You don't know how it'll happen now after all that's come undone, and you know the world you're waiting for may not come. No, it may not come, but you know the change the world needs now is there in everyone.
Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you for having me.
Grazie per essere qui. Jackson Browne ha appena pubblicato un nuovo album che è uscito in ottobre e che non ho qui nelle mie mani, ma che adesso andiamo a recuperare, che si chiama Standing in the Breach ed è un bellissimo disco che potete vedere qua. Jackson, this is a new record. What it means for you to do again another record?
Well, it feels really good to have some songs that are, some of them are new and some of them are old, but they're the first times I've made a studio record of them. So it's great to have these new songs, and I especially love the band on this record.
It's always a challenge to do a new record.
Of course, yeah, it has. That's the only reason to do it. You don't want to do one like the others. Really, I worked in a little different way this time. I kind of have two ways of working, and one is to have a band that is very self-contained, where the same 5 people play the whole record. Because I always wanted to be in a band. That was almost my favorite way of doing it. But I think I get a better result if I do it the way I did, you know, The Pretender or Lives in the Balance, where there are different drummers and different players all throughout. And so you call the person that you imagine will give you the best
sound.
The best addition, the best missing piece of the song. So I got very lucky with this record because Greg Leese, who is the multi-instrumentalist, who plays not only electric guitar but acoustic guitar and lap steel and pedal steel, which are, you know, sound very different, of course. But he became available during this time, and also, you know, I wouldn't make the whole album with him unless he could come out and play it for a while afterwards. So he just sort of, you know, agreed to play in this period of time with me. And he's very influenced by some of the players I've played with in the past, so he really just naturally plays
with your music,
the right stuff.
Yeah.
But he's, you know, he's very in demand. He plays with Eric Clapton and plays with Bill Frisell, and he produced the new Lucinda Williams album. You know, he's just kind of the magic player that everybody wants to get play on their record. And he plays dobro and mandolin, and he can kind of, he's telling me now he can sing too. I'm thinking like, well, we'll see what happens. But I discovered that he could play the 12-string when I was making The Naked Ride Home. I brought him in to do something, acoustic guitar, or maybe, and he wound up putting a little 12-string, and I realized he plays 12-string very well, because it's hard, you know, like 12-string, for all that simplicity of the Byrds records. It's actually a very hard instrument to make sound right.
Absolutely.
Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers can do it. R.E.M. can do it, you know. Greg Leese can do it. So among the various things that he did on this record, among the slide and the electric guitar, he played a 12-string on it too. So
you always had a lot of music in your songs. They're not simple singer-songwriting with you and the piano. I mean, you did it. You and the guitar.
I can do that.
Yes, but you always love to have bigger.
Well, when you make a record, you want to make something that adds something to the song emotionally. And I learned an interesting thing this year, because it's the 40th anniversary of Late for the Sky, and so we decided to remaster it and put it out. By remastering, I mean we decided to master it exactly as it was mastered originally for vinyl. And in doing it, I began listening to Doug Haywood singing. The singing on it, he was the bass player, and he was the default singer. You know, he was the default harmony singer in my band. I mean, that record also had these beautiful harmony parts that had Don Henley, J.D. Souther, and Dan Fogelberg, and Doug Haywood. I mean, he would be the 4th voice there. But what I never realized before was that I really liked the emotional color of his voice and my voice up in these, like, Farther On and Late for the Sky. That's Doug Haywood. He's singing on, what is he singing on here? He's singing on You Know the Night. I got together with him because I called him and said, you know, you're amazing. I forgot how good you were. And he's living in Arizona, and I got him back in to sing a little bit. But it's just that. When you call somebody to play on your record, you're actually looking for something just the same way as when you were looking for the words or looking for the chords. You're looking for some color to be added. And I've been very lucky in getting some of the great musicians, you know, of all time to play on my records.
Talking of this, I just finished to read the Graham Nash autobiography, and it's really nice, the piece of the story when you appear with David Crosby in the studio. So, may I ask you, how was it? I mean,
well,
you
for
were
me,
really
it was
young.
really, to begin with, I completely misunderstood Graham in that moment, because Graham is such a gentleman. Graham Nash is one of the he's very, like, you know, of course, he's incredibly talented musician, and I loved his songs. But I'd never really hung around with any English people.
So it was the first one.
So I went to the studio, and I was there in England, and I went by to see, I mean, I was doing a concert there, and for my first time in England, I love the way the English talk, you know, and when growing up, I used to talk in English accents with my friend, and we would imitate the, but there are other things besides the accent, which is that they're extremely polite. And for instance, and Americans are not, you know. And if you're polite, it's a kind of too formal, too stiff, you know. And so David introduced me to Graham, and Glyn Johns was sitting there, and Graham said very formally, "I'm really glad to meet you. I've heard really good things about your writing, and when you're ready, when you're finished with your record and you're ready for me to hear it, you can play it for me." And I thought to myself, who the hell are you? Who are you to ask me to when I'm ready, play it for you? It's just so formal, I misunderstood. And in fact, what he was speaking to about, I mean, was that thing about he knows how long it takes to make something, get it just right. And he was saying he looked forward to hearing it when it's done. It was a simple, you know. But I didn't know that because I'd never made a record. Or yeah, as a matter of fact, I hadn't made a record. And when I did make a record, my first record, I got David Crosby to sing on it. He was supposed to produce it. I mean, he said he would produce my record. I mean, you know, late at night, drinking and smoking, he said, "I'll produce your record." And then he got busy with Crosby, Stills and Nash, and every time I would try to reach him,
I'm waiting here for you.
It's me, you know. I even waited outside their stage door a bunch of times, you know, and I'd be waiting with 50 other fans at the Hollywood Bowl, waiting for him to come out. When he'd come out, he'd like, you know, and there he'd just look at me and go like, "What are you doing here?" You know, and I thought, "Well, I'm here. I saw your show," and I was like, "What?" And I want you to make my record. And now I see how pathetic, how hopeless that must have looked. But when the time came, he did come in and he said, "Look, I don't have time to produce it, but I'll sing on it." And Crosby sang on you know, like half of that whole record. And Graham came in and sang on one song. But Crosby's favorite thing is to sing with himself. His record, If I Could Only Remember My Name, it's incredible. He would always make these diagrams in the air of what it would sound. He wanted the harmony to go like 2 and then 3 and then 4 and then he's talking what he wants the vocals to do, and it's very, very visual. But he added 2 voices to Dark in My Eyes, and my record company president, David Geffen, asked Graham Nash if he thought this would be a hit, and Graham said, "Well, it will be if I sing on it." And so he got Graham to come in, and he added a high harmony to that, which is exactly right. It's a thing that Graham does, you know, so well. But while we're talking about Graham Nash, I just have to tell you that I went to see him solo. He's unbelievable by himself. He is so great on his own because, and you're sitting there and you're hearing these hits by the Hollies, and you do a lot of hits by the Hollies, a lot of hits by CSN, and then his solo records all along have been really great. And you realize that he is probably the most untapped resource in that band in a funny way. He always is recruited to sing the harmonies and keep the harmonies really straight in order. But when he sings by himself, or when he has any people who are supposed to sing with him, then he carves. He's a much more free singer because he can do both things. He can really hold it straight, or he can like really do all the singerly things that singers like to do when they have a chance to get free.
One of the things that links both of you is the way of singing about reality and the world. And I mean, Standing on the Bridge is one of the most intense songs that we can hear today. Nobody, I mean, few of you still do it.
Well, you know, it's it requires somebody listening, you know.
Yeah, sure.
And if you think, maybe that we have, Graham and I have that in common, that we think someone's listening. But you have to think someone's listening, and then you're willing to say what you think. Like I was on a TV show this morning. Well, maybe it was radio. I can't tell what it was. No, it was run like a TV show. Mm-hmm. There was an audience and they clapped, but it was one of those high-level Italian things, which I mean, the voices were up here. And everybody clapping like that, and the energy of the whole show was up here, like a variety show of television, and it was for the web and radio, and then they played Standing in the Breach. It was like going into another dimension. It was like suddenly the dynamics of the song were so quiet. It requires such listening that it sank below their energy, and I could see that they're used to being on camera, moving with the beat. Yeah. The very beautiful co-host, presenter, you know, was like, everybody's like looking for something to grab hold with their bodies, but it's really a song that makes you sit still, you know, if you're going to listen to this. To sing it by myself is a little bit of a, I'm really used to the help that I get from the, you know, that little guitar part that happened is actually the clock of the whole song. So, you know, it's a very demanding thing to sing by myself, but on the other hand, the more alone you are, the more you have to hear the voice. Sure. You know, that's all you have.
What's the power of a song? I mean, nobody knows exactly, but because you have written so many very good songs that stand it, in time, you must know something that we don't know.
Oh, I don't know if that's true. I do only have this one thing. I really only have this one thing that I do.
Quite enough.
And that's what I guess I do is I depend on the song to tell me something. And it may take a long time to write. The Standing in the Breach took more than a year to complete, because I don't mean not like working 8 hours a day, but I mean I'm willing to walk away and let it rest for a while. And you know what it's like? It's more like building an instrument, where you know you've got the wood that you want to build the back and the sides of the guitar, but you don't have the top. Yeah. You don't have until you find the right piece for the top. Or you know that you've got all the wood, but you're waiting to, you know, learn something more about how to put it together. And this, not only did it take a long time to write Standing in the Breach, but when we went to record it, imagine that I played it with the players that are on there, but I wouldn't let them do much. Like I wouldn't let the drummer play very much. Right away he was playing, he knew the song, we played it live and he was playing, I'm going, no, you can't do that, don't do that. And he was playing like, so he's going, and every now and then he's going, now and then he's, you know, and he's leaving this big, which I liked. I thought, okay, this is the way I want to do it. And the guitar player played in this first recording session. He played something I loved and I wanted to keep. The solo is just, I love it. So I didn't want to recut it, even if I thought it needed different. Yeah. So I began adding things or experimenting things, and you build on it. You add on something and then you take it off. You know, you keep experimenting. So this song has been on a journey all this time. Mostly to try to make it feel good to the body when you hear it, because it was a little bit too, I would listen to this song in the car and I'd think, oh no, this is too depressing a subject to make a depressing sounding record. It has to be, this has to feel a little bit more lively and a little better. And all it was it needed this one magic drummer from LA, this guy Jay Bellerose, to come in and, like, you know, they're magic people, these musicians. I'm so fortunate to get to work with them because I get the credit for the thing sounding a certain way. People will simplify it and say, your sound.
Yes.
Oh, this is the sound of your records, or the thing that you get in a song. But really, it's the David Lindley, the Jay Bellerose, the Alex Al, the people that I call, you know, or the Taylor Goldsmith and Griffin Goldsmith, that they just play a certain way and it's the right thing. And there's a bit of a culture there in LA that's partly that there are studios there, but now, of course, there are studios everywhere. But it's that people have a slow, they only do this one thing. They do the thing they do, and they go to their friend's show, and they sit in and play. Or
they love the music.
They go to their house, you know. Ben Montench from the Heartbreakers has a wonderful kind of get-together he does sometimes. And he only will call people starting like maybe Friday, Saturday, and say, okay, Sunday night we're going to get together. And the house will be full of these really enormously talented people that you've never met. People that he met along the way, and that are, some would be the same people you've seen there before, and there'll be a bunch of new people who are in town or that he discovered and that have some special thing to offer, you know. So that's back to what you asked, is like I must know something. Well, that's really all I know. Yeah. That's that thing. It's that thing that happens between people that, and I admire I hear about these musicians who know everything they want when they go in. And they tell everybody what to play, and they know exactly what they want. You know, who's legendary, like, of course, is Randy Newman. Yeah. And Val, the guitar player on this record, like, he gets called by Randy Newman. I mean, they have the same, they have a producer friend in common. Mitchell Froome, the producer, will produce Randy Newman. Randy has written something for a 40-piece orchestra. Yeah. And now he's going to get the band, you know, like a small band, to play it, and he's really written a guitar part. But Val doesn't read.
So?
So he's just, you know, he's just making some stuff up, you know. And he told me the story, like Randy comes walking up behind him, and he's looking at Val play, and he's looking at the thing that he wrote, and he's looking at what Val's playing, and it's not at all the same thing, you know. And he's smiling because, and Val's just thinking, like, he's waiting for the, you know, you're out, you know, get out of here, you know. But, you know, and Val imagines that he had a conversation with Mitchell in which he says, you know, he's not playing what I wrote, and Mitchell says, you know, watch, he's going to play something really good. So he's one of those people you can, the same way that he relies on him to add something that he couldn't have written. Randy likes Val. He likes Val, and he likes Waddy Wachtel.
Oh,
you look at all the records that Waddy Wachtel played on for Randy Newman. Yeah. So, well, those are the things that I care most about. I'm so glad we're talking about music, because it's all I really care about.
But is the thing that we care about. So, to finish this, after dobbiamo ricordare le date italiane del tour, che sono 24 maggio Auditorium della Musica Santa Cecilia, 25 Auditorium Manzoni Bologna, 27 maggio Teatro Sociale Como, 28 maggio Teatro Colosseo Torino. Sono appuntamenti da non perdere, ma I have the last stupid question, because many like me grew up listening to your song, and many like me believes in the things you say, because songs are not stupid or useless. They mean something that, I mean, they can change the life of people. Maybe little things every day, but they do. So what's your hope for a song? What is exactly for you the things that a song can do?
I think a song can connect you to, it can describe a world that you recognize. I mean, in a way, you're really trying to sing something that's true for yourself, but you hope that it will be true for others. And in that way that you'll be connected, you know. I think the two things is like you don't sing songs to be alone.
No.
You sing a song that will mean something to other people as well. But it begins with your own need to describe life as you know it, as describe the thing that you're experiencing. So that's all I hope for, that it be true. occasionally you write something that's not true, you know, and so you're having trouble finishing the song. Like once I brought a friend into, I said, like, I'm stuck here, I can't finish the song. And like, you want to listen to what I'm doing? And he's a screenwriter, you know, and a poet. And he sat down and listened to it. He said, okay, put the words in front of me. Let me listen to the song. He listened to it. He said, all right, this is good. This is going to be really good. But here's your problem, right there. That's not true. You know, it takes a good friend to tell you that you're wrong about something, or that something you're saying is, you know, he says, that's just not, I don't think that's right, you know. And so if you slowly develop the ideas for a song, and the way you normally tell if something's true is if you can sing it. If you can sing it, it feels right to you, you know. And sometimes you have the pleasure of other people singing it back to you, and you know it's, you know,
it works.
It's true. Yeah.
Thank you. It was really a pleasure to have you here.
Thanks for having me here. I appreciate the invitation. I appreciate your patience.
No.
With the setup.
You're patient for us. Thank you.